Okay, so let's talk a bit about the actual collaboration.
Okay.
So, about a year ago,
Yeah.
I think when we were sitting down and planning, came up with this crazy idea about collaborating for a Rogers TV show.
No, well, actually,
How did it?
there was a painting you were working on. It was the tree painting.
Oh, that's right. That's how. Yeah.
And I think I was helping you with the painting.
That's right. That's how it started.
And maybe a little too much. And I think you said, well, we should both sign this painting. And I think that was the first time I think I said, okay, that's because I think we were both really proud of that piece.
We were. I remember that. We were talking about something and I was struggling with seeing what was wrong and I didn't like it. Yeah. And you said, just do this. And I didn't see what you were doing. Yeah. So you went up, do you remember? And you did this. Yeah. And that's right. That became that.
And again, even that, even you allowing me to work on your canvas sometimes, I think was an honor to do that, it's not very often any artist will allow another artist to touch their painting. So
you can touch my painting.
So no, but I think that is just a testament to our relationship, and that you trusted me. And but yeah, I think in the end, I think we were both proud of that painting, and we both signed it. And whether it went to the gallery, whether it sold, really doesn't matter. I think it was the act of putting two signatures on there, I think, sparked the idea to do some more. Yeah,
I think that's right.
Which we did.
Yeah, and I know both of us at times were a little hesitant. I wanted to jump in with collaboration pieces, but the part that I was a little afraid of was you have 20 years experience. I have 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. I'm still learning. We still have a bit of a student relationship where if I'm struggling with something, I come and ask you questions, or I do a painting and and you talk me through something. Yeah. And I wasn't sure I could hold my own with you.
Right.
And you were struggling because
I was struggling because I was liking the paintings, and I struggled because why was I struggling?
Because most artists don't do this. This is a different kind of collaboration, right?
I struggled also. I think part of why I struggled was at the time I wasn't producing, and I was going through my own sort of mental health issues, and then you'd come by on a Tuesday and we'd get a painting done. Maybe we'd get 2 paintings done, and I thought, why can I work when you're here, but I can't work when I'm here? And so, and the paintings would build up over the weeks, and I'd be looking at these 3 foot by 3 foot paintings, which I loved. And I think I was just being a little hard on myself, I think. And yeah, it did take a little while for me to accept the fact that you were no longer a student, and after I accepted that, that's when I think I started to accept the process, like our process, as lighthearted and as playful as it was, as something that was beneficial for my process, by myself. And sure enough, a lot of your things started appearing in my paintings. And again, I think there was a little resentment there, but it was on me. It was absolutely on me. I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah. Then this chick comes, rolling in and starts helping me,
But I think that collaboration where we kind of fed off each other in the paintings, and then we still took portions of that back to our own paintings. Yeah. So whether as we went through it, I always went, well, I'm really good at starting, but not good at ending. Right. You were really good at stop. Yeah. But it's still, in the end, we set some parameters at the beginning, but in the end, the only parameter really was we just both have to be happy with it.
Yeah, and I think we wanted to see the process. The process had to be visible. Yeah. We could have finished all those paintings to a much more widely accepted point, meaning more paint, more finished areas, more details. But I think you and I both approach it with the idea that we like the process of painting, and we wanted the process to be visible. So, and I think that's maybe why you and I love the paintings and get quite excited. Well, I get excited looking at whether it's representational or completely abstract. The process is all very visible. So that's why I like them. And like I said, I've brought that into my newer sci-fi stuff where that process is there. I think, we'll talk about that as well.
So what we'll do is we'll go around, look at some of your stuff, and then can we actually painting?
Absolutely.
I'll put my painting clothes on.
Absolutely.
Because I'm a really messy painter, and we'll do that, which would be great. But we just finished the studio tour, and both of us had lots of people come, but I know at my studio, more people talk to me about, well, how did two artists work together? How does that collaboration work? And the same thing with you. And
absolutely,
which is really interesting.
And I don't think there's a definitive answer to that. I think it's how do any two people work doing anything. It might be art, it might be in the job, whatever. I think if two people click, two people can do a lot of things. So what's interesting is that,
maybe we should start this whole movement in London with artists collaborating with each other.
Absolutely. And so artists collaborating is not a new thing. It's actually quite an old thing. But I do find that in doing this, I realize that a lot of artists aren't doing it, as much as maybe they used to. So I know that artists will oftentimes put their work out there to other artists to critique or to actually, talk about the process, because it's really important with peers to go through things. So you mentioned, like, it's not a new thing; it's an old thing. What are some examples over time? Do you know? Basquiat and Andy Warhol. That's the first one that comes to mind. And,
I want to look that up, actually.
Cool. No, you're putting me on the spot now, but I would just go online and look up collaborations. You'll a lot of them will pop up. I
know musicians collaborate all the time in terms of those things, but artists themselves, in terms of putting together. I do remember there was somebody you were talking about where they'd be painting, and maybe it's is it Basquiat and Warhol, where somebody would paint one thing and the other artist would come along and just get rid of it. And it became a little bit of a intense process.
Which we actually do. No, I think that that element of the relationship and that element of the process is very interesting, because again, that finished result or that little section would never have happened if you or I wouldn't have been comfortable enough to do it. And in most cases, it works out, because, if I do something you don't like, or if you do, usually it's you doing something I don't like. And it forces me in a complete, it's a reaction, right? And so I don't react to my paintings necessarily when I'm by myself, but when another artist brings something that I can react to, it just there's so much more to it, which I enjoy.
It's kind of like synergism. 2 + 2 = 5. But what and we'll put on some of the pieces that we've actually done. But there's one piece in particular that when I was talking to folks, I would always explain. It's I can't remember the name of it. It's one of the yellow paintings.
Right.
We were starting representational from a photo that we had. There's actually we did 2 of them, and it's a very muted photo. You put some yellow on, and I went, ugh. Yeah. So guess what the painting ended up with?
Yeah, lots of yellow.
Lots of yellow, and that's that sort of interplay. And at the end, I really loved the painting. Yeah. But we might do something, and you just, because I went, you just went to town on it. And then, part of it is, Jane, deal with it. Deal with your discomfort and move forward. And we did that. And it was kind of great. So even though we do things we know the other person doesn't like, it's still part of the teasing.
Well, and learning acceptance is vital, I think, in our paintings and in our own paintings as well. And again, that's where, when you step back and you see something that might bother you or something, but the choice to leave it and to deal with it and accept it, I think only helps you as an artist.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes interesting paintings as well.
Yeah, and when we finish the first set of series, so basically we've done 20. So the first set were more representational. The second set tend to be a little bit more abstract. I mean, not fully in terms of whatever, but I had a natural affinity towards some of the other ones, but those two in particular, because of the teasing that went on, I actually, when I look at those, they really make me smile. I really kind of enjoy them, which is great.
Yeah,
so
me too.
So, are we going to do any more outside of?
I don't see any reason why to stop.
This is awesome, because I think it is I really do enjoy that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So what's maybe so the biggest thing you've learned in that contest is acceptance?
I would say acceptance of a lot of things. Acceptance of our relationship, of where I am in my career, and I hope you was in your career as well. And just accepting the process. Learning to live with things, learning to let things kind of marinate, and not working so quickly. Although we work quickly. Yeah. I mean, I think there was that one piece that sat for 2 weeks, and then we finally just decided it was done. We didn't do anything to it, Yeah. So I think it just helps. It just slows things down a little bit, and
But everybody will see how we work, because we're about to do it. But basically, somebody will start with an idea or composition, and sometimes it's just a gesture. Sometimes it's from a photo. Yeah. But whatever we start, the next, and we actually paint at the same time, and we tag off. Yeah. And when we tag off, it's up to whoever's done. They tag off. I generally am the one that comes back and go, oh, no, stop, I'm not done. And you're going, wait, it's my turn. But we're tagging back and forth, and then there comes a natural point where we have to let the paint dry before we can do. And that's when we go.
Because someone puts a lot of water on there.
So I don't know where that started. So it's pretty fun. I like to spray, see what actually happens to the paint. Yeah. And just let it drip and kind of go crazy. I like the chaos. Yeah. Of something you can't control. Yep. Which is kind of interesting. But then if we leave it for a week or two, we come back to it, and then at some point, again, that's the only rule really is that we both have to be okay with it. Yeah. So. And
I think there's been times where one of us has been a little bit more than the other, but again, I think that comes back to acceptance and a little give and take.
Yeah. So the ones we've been doing recently have been more abstract in nature. And I have struggled in them, which I actually think is a really good struggle, because I don't, with the landscape, I'm of course a little bit more comfortable and practice that a little bit more. But the abstract ones, I'm not sure what I like and what I don't. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm not sure what's good composition. I'm not sure whatever, but I do know I like a lot of paint. Yep. Or spraying or whatever it is. And I do know which colors I like, but some of them it's like, wow, when I come back to them. You've juxtaposed a couple of them on top of each other, which it was okay. So I think that acceptance has been really, really good.
Yeah, and again, I think you brought the term play, and I think I wouldn't have put those two together had we not been in that sort of headspace, and really it was such an arbitrary thing to do, put it and so I put it on top, and I liked it. I don't know if you loved it, but
I didn't. But you know what? I grew to. I appreciate it.
Yeah, actually. And it's not always the painting I like. It's how this particular thing got to this particular point. Yeah.
And those two paintings, which are completely different, were the ones that we did. Yeah. That day. In terms of where we started, which is kind of interesting. Okay. Let's look around. Let's just look at your studio a little bit in terms of so people can see, and I'll take some, and then we'll get changed
to the paint.
And we'll paint.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So Jamie, now we've been in the studio, and this is going to transform itself into where we're painting. But this is a piece you're working on, or is that a finished piece?
This is a finished piece, and here's the study for it right here. Okay. And you can see. We talked about process before. And I think this area of this painting right here is a really good example of how letting the process sort of affect the overall piece. So all these drips, you might as well sign that if you want to, happened. The painting was this way. All this is process underneath here. So typically it would be on the floor before I would put it in. But once it was in, and these little drips would happen. And again, I'd had to make that decision to keep it in, even though it didn't quite make a lot of sense.
So there's the study, and here is this is kind of where the magic happens in that.
Yeah.
You have very interesting palettes. You're obviously working with acrylics right now.
Yeah.
And we talked about brushes. There are all your brushes.
Yeah. These are actually, there you go. That's typically what I work with.
Dollar store brushes.
Dollar store brushes. These are all dollar store brushes. Some of them are hard. Some of them are not. Toothbrushes, palette knives. I think this is one of yours.
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, look at how nice that is.
Oh, my goodness. Neither of us are great at kind of taking care of it.
No.
But the other thing we play with a little bit is, here is some, there's titanium white, but there's gel gloss.
Yep.
So can you explain a little bit about what that is?
So the gel gloss is just an additive to the paint. And I used it a lot for when I was flinging paint around. I'm not sure what else to say about it. It's great.
It body?
Yeah, it gives it body. Essentially, if you want to mix your own paints, you can use the liquids and add it to that, and you get the same type of thing. But
yeah, but it gives it body. It makes it like acrylic can be painted a little bit like watercolor, or it can be painted more like oil, which has got heavier body. So
this is, you can get this in gloss, satin, matte, different thicknesses. That company provides so many different options.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So you use a.
There's Jane's tool.
Thing. Yeah, there's water, which is great. Over here, this is kind of where you do some more of your illustration?
This is typically where I do some of my drawing, and I work out some ideas. It's where
I have never seen your studio so clean.
I haven't either. It's always cleaned up a little just before. Typically, this is, about like that.
Yeah.
Before any event, I typically try to clean up a little bit.
Yeah. So, which is kind of the same. My studio was never as clean as it was, which is great. So, okay. And then obviously we've got some pieces here.
So this is all, so with the studio tour, a lot of things come out of storage, really. Like, I think most artists accumulate lots of paintings, and it's a great time to pull it all out.
Yeah. What I'll probably do. You've got your mat cutter on the floor, cutter on the floor.
I was using it.
Which is awesome. Okay. Yeah. Anything else in here?
All the weird stuff.
All the weird stuff. Your hats. There's Bernie. There's just some more material. You listen to music?
Always, yeah.
Always when you do. So, some people do.
Yeah, this is actually from Sarah Cowling, the stereo.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you keep some inspiration.
That was the beginning of my, the beginning of the idea of being an artist. That someone could be an artist for a job.
Yeah.
And, so that's very meaningful, yeah.
That's where it started. Oh my goodness, okay. So Darth Vader is holding...
I don't think I actually meant to do that.
Did you?
No.
Okay, so this is one of the other tools that you were very, very... I know you never let me away with. A straight edge.
Straight edge. Squares, straight edges.
And do you remember what the reason was?
For water.
Horizons.
Yeah, water and horizons. So often you'd see paintings where the water is kind of going on an angle, or the horizon's dipping down on one side. And it's a very simple tool, but it's very, very effective.
Yeah.
Second favorite tool.
Oh my goodness! And what is this tool?
It's tube wringer. Like, you can see the tubes. They've all met the tube wringer.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Yeah, actually, for years I couldn't find mine. So it actually helps you save paint, right?
It does, absolutely.
Which is really great. And then we are obviously down in your basement. The important thing about the basement as a studio is that you can actually be anywhere. So
absolutely.
I know you find it difficult at times.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no natural light, right?
There's no natural light. I very rarely have natural light. So I think it's important to have a space, be it in your kitchen, a portion of your dining room, your basement. It doesn't matter where you paint. As long as you can paint and you find an area to do it, then, that's all you need. Yeah,
it's true. The one good thing about the basement and an unfinished basement is, though, you can get messy and you can leave it.
Yeah.
The kitchen becomes a little difficult. However, it's more important to paint someplace.
Absolutely. I think most of those are your splatters on the wall, actually.
Okay, so I admit it. I'm messy.
Yeah.
Which is why Glenn has me in the garage.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Just paint. You can start.
I'm going to start with my typical. But so what's good about this? We're going to actually start a painting, not in our usual 3 foot by 3 foot. Mm-hmm. So this is this size is a little bit different. It's
2436.
2436. So a little bit different. Generally, someone starts. We take turns. So I guess it's my turn. Now I'm in a Payne's Gray phase right now. Mm-hmm. But there isn't a lot of Payne's Gray, so I'm not sure I'm going to use it.
There you go. Or use it up right now.
Or we'll use it up right now. But this is part of the convincing. It's like, okay. So, sometimes I just start by doing this. Okay. So this is obviously going to be a little bit more abstract. I start with a nice big brush. Get my water bottle. Jamie, I need more water.
Set it to gun mode.
Seems to be a typical composition of mine, so just... Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Okay, I'm done.
That's it?
That's it. I'm starting the composition.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm just gonna ignore all that.
Yellow, because you love yellow.
Oh, I hate yellow. I love green, but I detest yellow. Okay, we're gonna...
I'm gonna get a new brush, so... Oh, look at it. Whoa, you and your gun mode. Oh, I thought you were right.
No, I know.
I actually really like that color. That
green?
Yeah, that dark green's quite nice.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
This might be our new size if we actually kind of like this.
I don't mind the size at all, actually.
It's different.
All right, go. Okay. It's your turn.
Okay, my turn.
Let's just get rid of that.
Well, I just did that as a... Yeah, so...
Transparent red oxide.
How did you know? It's funny how we go for kind of our favorite colors. And it's... You're looking for kind of a red, a blue, and a yellow.
Yeah.
In terms of, so we've got, I like a very limited palette, but I tend to like certain colors. I think you.
It's a primary of sorts, but
yeah. Okay.
Okay. I need to adjust this canvas a little bit, just so I can work on the bottom edge. Okay, you're gonna love this.
Oh my goodness! Oh, you're putting pink in. You're putting pink in. Yeah. Oh, how did I know? To the magenta.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not pink. It's magenta.
It's magenta.
Yeah.
And so at some point we'll show everybody what this becomes.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I think is kind of cool. So it gives us a good basis for next time. So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well.
Just leave it there.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
I did, absolutely.
I had a lot of fun too. Again, it's not about the product, it's about the process we've been doing.
Yeah.
And okay. So now we've actually painted.
You're dirty.
Around. I know it's. I am so messy. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, which
it always is.
It always is in terms of those things. So thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for opening up not just this relationship, but sticking with it and opening up just about your process.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And thank you for bringing everything you've brought to me. I didn't know I needed it, but I absolutely did, and I hope we're both better off for it.
Yeah, for sure. About a year ago, or when we were doing our planning session, I remember. I don't know if you remember this. I said, Jamie, this is like a marriage.
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. In terms of, because I think friendships among artists are incredibly important in terms of the support, but I have so much to learn.
Yeah, we both do.
And I have so much that I want to experiment with, and I love going through it again, the journey of learning with you. And I thank you for sticking with me that way.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.